Hello, I am Lynn McCammon, the Finance Director for the City of Holland. 2020 has been a year of challenge and change. While the pandemic has impacted almost everyone, the city has fortunately had a history of conservatively managing its finances. This allows the city not only to respond to the pandemic, but also to continue focusing on the priorities established as part of last year's planning process. Today I'm going to walk you through updates to the current year priorities, as well as outline some priorities that we are planning for the upcoming year. As you can see, COVID-19 response tops the list of our current priorities. We started the current fiscal year in the midst of a pandemic, and there was a lot of uncertainty surrounding what the impact on the city's budget might be. We identified early on challenges that could potentially relate to property tax values, state revenue sharing, investment income, and others, and we're concerned as some of these account for more than 60% of our general fund revenues. We have happily reported that we have been able to identify grant funding and to date have received more than $900,000 in grant funds, which will be used to offset any reductions in revenues or any unbudgeted expenditures. While the COVID-19 pandemic continues, we are mindful of its potential impact on future budgets. And as we look at our tax base composition, we see the city has a healthy mix of commercial, industrial, and residential property tax base, as well as having experienced a nice increase over the past several years. And both of these will help position the city to withstand any potential decline in the real estate market in the coming years. The city continues to prioritize efforts to grow the city's tax base, and in 2020 has added 2 new brownfield projects and established a local brownfield revolving fund. In addition, we've approved IFTs for new projects that totaled more than $65 million in the city, all this during the midst of a pandemic. These efforts to grow the city's tax base will help afford long-term financial strength for the city. At the end of calendar year 2020, we bid farewell to Tim Bogley, Finance Director Emeritus. Tim served the city for more than 14 years and will be greatly missed. I hope to continue his efforts in the coming years. Another priority for the city is to continue to focus on our pension and OPEB liabilities. The city has worked hard in the past by issuing bonds to decrease the pension liability, but several changes in actuarial assumptions over the past few years have resulted in a slight increase. We're happy to report the city contributed additional $800,000 towards this in June of 2020 and plans to do so in 2021 as well. While we continue to focus on the priorities for the current year, we are already looking forward to next year. We would like to continue efforts to ensure the long-term financial strength by enhancing our long-term financial planning. We would like to expand our current 6-year financial plan to incorporate our 50-year capital plan and also add a component to look at debt capacity and then incorporate development activity and its potential impact on future financial position. The city has conservatively managed the finances and, as we can see here, maintain a strong reserve position, and a thorough long-term planning process will just help ensure the continued financial strength of the city as we move into the future. To complement the focus on long-term financial health, we would like to take a look at our fiscal policies and evaluate some of our current ones for any updates that we might need and add new policies where appropriate. We'd like to start this process by wrapping up our fund balance policy to include all the funds of the city, add a pension funding to continue to address our pension liability, and also take a look at our investment policy. Consistent with prior years, we want to maintain the current tax rate. As you can see, the city has done just that over the past 10 years, and we plan to continue this tradition in the future. The banking services contract is set to expire at the end of 2021. We would like to complete the RFP process for banking services since the last one was done in 2008. And we just want to make sure that we are getting the best quality services at the best value. Finally, the city has had a history of receiving awards for outstanding achievement in both the audit and the budget process, And we would like to continue that streak of those awards, and we would like to consider implementing the popular annual financial report, which essentially summarizes the 200-plus page audit report into an easy-to-read 10-page or less document that includes lots of pictures. In conclusion, the Fiscal Services Department looks forward to continuing to be good stewards of the city's financial resources as we finish out the current year and plan for the future.